From traffic stops to arrests, we all know that law enforcement never take a night off. But when a major situation requires police and legal cooperation, particularly late at night, county employees are still on call. Gabriela Garcia shows us what happens when arrest warrants are needed after dark.
Jeanette Castillo points a gun at her neighbor, then barricades herself inside her home. She's armed and refuses to leave for some time. Bryan police arrive. They need a warrant before SWAT can be called and breach the home. But it's roughly 10 p.m. and most county employees are in bed. SWAT eventually does breach the home and arrests her at around 1:30 a.m. But before that comes a process not many can explain.
I've definitely seen some of the names on here.
Brazos County Chief Deputy Jim Stewart deals with these kind of situations.
If someone is barricaded and they're not threatening themselves or others, then we'll just surround, provide a perimeter, reach out to the district attorney's office, articulate what our facts are.
We have an on-call attorney who's on call 24 hours a day, and that rotates, and they will communicate with us. And so if an additional arrest warrant needs to be obtained, they will send us what we call a probable cause statement, which is kind of a statement of what's going on and why we believe that there's sufficient evidence to make entry and to arrest a person for an offense.
After the DA's office reviews that statement and drafts the arrest warrant, it goes back to the deputies for a final draft to send to the DA. Then, depending on the hour, it's time to wake up a judge.
In most cases, we'll drive to their home, go inside, sit down with them. They'll read the probable cause statement.
If it's in the middle of the night, the judge will sign off on the arrest warrant, and then that warrant will then go to the law enforcement agency who will enter that into a database, making it an active warrant.
Then it's back to the scene where deputies enter the warrant into a database and calls it active.
And once that's done, they can enter the home and arrest the individual.
And in 2019, it's easy to think that can all be done in a few texts. But for many areas like Brazos County,
it can be a lengthy process.
Technology hasn't quite caught up to today's expectations. In this day and age, faxes are relics to many, but are still in use to get arrest warrants.
You can't just call up a judge and say, hey judge, this is what we have, and the judge says, hey, you're good to go. You have to have a paper system whereby everything can be transferred so everybody can look at everything independently to make sure that everybody understands what the facts are. It talks about arrests under warrant.
The paper trail isn't just for peace of mind, it's your right.
The United States Constitution says that officers, that law enforcement can't go into people's homes without warrants in certain circumstances.
With all that red tape, it can sometimes take hours.
Did we confirm it with Brian?
Leaving the public on edge. But law enforcement says the system works.
What we do with warrants is what has been proven to be reliable in court, what judges have signed off on. So until another jurisdiction comes up with a different way and it makes it to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court signs off on it, it will remain that way.
For how much longer? It remains to be seen.
As technology keeps getting upgraded, I'm sure the process will become faster, but there is a certain set of requirements we have to meet in order for it to be constitutional.
We're not at the point yet where it's worthwhile to invest in that technology, but you'll see that in your lifetime for sure around here.
But for now, police say the technology fits.
Really, life safety is the key thing here. If it's not an emergency, we have time.